everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video on the Giardini Di Toscana fragrances, an Italian niche perfume brand. So I'm going to take you through their collection. If you're new here, then hello and welcome. I'm all about perfumes. I have thousands of videos like this on designer fragrances, niche fragrances, perfume notes, perfumers. So do check out my other videos. And if you're a regular viewer, do make sure you're subscribed and give the video a thumbs up. That really helps me. And as always, I'll leave the links down below to where you can get these fragrances where they're available all around the world. So I was actually introduced to this brand because I have recently just been stocked in my first perfumery physical store here in Richmond in London, southwest London. If you've seen the Ted Lasso series, that's based in Richmond, so it's such a beautiful town. And there's a perfumery there called Parfums, and the owner, you might be familiar with her. She's a Turkish perfume influencer who goes by the handle Parfums. So shout out to anyone watching from Turkey. And that's where my fragrances are now stocked, so if you are in the area you can go and try them all there. But she was saying that this fragrance, Bianco Latte from the brand, is one of her best sellers and people love it and it's really on trend. So I wanted to try it along with the rest of the range. The brand itself is created by Silvia Martinelli, who is an Italian perfumer and owns and creates the perfumes in this brand. And she is from Tuscany, beautiful, beautiful part of the world in Italy. Of course, Stephen, my fiance, is Italian and we're getting married in Sicily next year. So I am embracing the Italian culture as much as possible. So this first one, Bianco Latte, I mean, I can smell it just from taking the lid off. I can see why this is popular because this is a super on-trend smell. It's a really like intense vanilla. Vanilla is definitely having a moment the past year or two. And this is like a creamy, milky latte vanilla, definitely quite sexy. For me, this would be more of an evening fragrance. It's giving me Hypnotic Poison vibes, Dolce & Gabbana The One vibes, all these really on-trend vanilla perfumes like the Kayali, all these gourmand ones. This is definitely that type of fragrance, so I can see why it's so popular. I tried it in store and I did find that it lasted on me and I could smell this like sweet, warm, vanilla, sexy vibe. So I can definitely see, you know, an Italian lady in the heat of the summer in the evening wearing a really sexy, you know, like Dolce & Gabbana dress, wearing this and it being very like alluring and cool. So I can definitely see why this is popular, and I do like the smell. It really is reminding me of a lot of the like very vanilla-y, almost marshmallowy fragrances that are very popular at the moment. It's like a much more intense vanilla-y version of something like Ariana Grande Cloud, which is such a bestseller. So if you are into like your really vanilla-y perfumes, definitely worth checking this out because I have found it has performed pretty well. So I also have the Discovery set here. So next up we have one called Bianco Oro. This is giving me quite a classic, spicy, Estee Lauder type vibe. There's a bit of a pepperiness to this, and wow, it's really strong actually. Woody, yeah, it's reminding me of some of the classics, maybe like a White Linen or something like that. Very traditional. For me, this is more like the matriarch of the family, you know, the mama of the, or the nonna or something of the Italian family. Next up we have Blue Indigo. So this is a little bit more subtle, quite musky, a bit violety, powdery. It does actually really remind me of my grandma. It's giving me a little bit of like Chanel No. 5 vibes, I think. But there's a hint of a slightly sweet almond in the base, but just a hint. It also has a frangipani note in here, giving it that floral. Maybe that's what's giving it an edge of sweetness. But overall, very powdery, very classy, very traditional. So next up we have Blue Mar, so inspired by the sea. Ooh, now this is totally different. This is very fresh, aromatic, definitely feels oceanic. I'm getting a very clean, lemony, bergamot opening, but then quite a soft aromatic note underneath, and kind of like the cypress trees. This would be really lovely sort of on a really hot Tuscan day I can smell like all the trees and the greenery around, but then that freshness of like a little bit of a breeze, that fresh lemon coming through. That's really beautiful. These are all unisex. I think this is a really nice, very gender neutral fragrance. I can see this on a man or a lady. And yeah, I love the combination there. It's not too aromatic. The lemon is really coming through, which I like. Yeah, that's really pretty. Next up we have Bora Bora, somewhere I haven't been yet. So this is definitely giving me tropical vibes. It's a floral tropical, so chiori flower, frangipani, like a bouquet of tropical flowers in a tropical resort somewhere. And there's a hint of a coconut underneath, but for me the floral tropical notes are really coming through. And there's definitely a jasmine here, which is supporting all those notes. Yeah, it's definitely giving me slightly Aryan hibiscus palm vibes, but not quite as coconutty, more flowery. And it's also reminding me of Lancome's the Vie Belle Soleil Crystal, and with those like floral notes, but definitely tropical floral, like classic, sophisticated tropical. So next up we have Celeste. So this is different again. This is actually giving me those Play-Doh vibes that I love. Quite feminine, powdery violet note in here. So violet tends to be the smell of things like lipstick, eyeshadow, makeup, hairspray, so it feels very feminine to me. A little bit like Juliette Has a Gun Lipstick Fever, but more subtle. Definitely one for violet lovers. If you like things like Guerlain, Insolence, Izzy Miyake just did one with violets in those very like purple Parma violet sweet smelling fragrance. That's what this smells like. Next up we have Christos. So this is heavy. Again, this is ambery, incensey with a patchouli base, quite classic. Again, giving me more like Estee Lauder classic vibes. Really quite incensey, that one. Dior Poison Original, those type of vibes as well. Very heavy, sort of classic 80s smell. Next up we have Colonia Nobile. So that is a very green lemony scent. Colonia Nobile, the name of like the Acqua di Parma lemony scents, which are also of course Italian. So I've got the lemon, but there's also a lot of like leaves and greenery in here. Neroli, you know, it's the whole lemon tree with the leaves, the branches, the bark, not just the lemons. I've got the lemon rind in here. A little bit like replica under the lemon tree, though I'd say this is stronger. So perfect for those like really fresh, when you want something really fresh on a really hot Italian summer's day. Very unisex, very wearable. Really nice, classy, it's like Italian lemon there, definitely reminding me of the Acqua di Parma Colonia fragrances. Next up we have Rosso Radiis, which I assume is going to be rosy. No, not really rosy. This is more musky ambery. Again, you've got that quite powdery classical note. This one is perhaps going back to something a little bit more 80s, bit of Chanel No. 5 powdery vibe. I'm getting a sort of aldehyde vibe in this as well. Next one is Rosso Rubino. This one is a little bit fresher than the previous Rosso one, but again I'm getting that powdery, peppery vibe, which can be a little bit dated in my view. So those two are not one of my favorites. I think it's that oak moss as well that they used in a lot of those like 80s perfumes, 60s perfumes. Next we have Scintilla. So this is the first one that's had a little bit of a fruity note in. You guys know I love my fruity notes. So it actually has some apple and some pineapple in, which is fun. And then underneath is that feminine, that violet note again, that slightly powdery violet, but with those like fruity tropical notes. So definitely something like, if you like a powdery perfume, a violet perfume, but you want something a little bit fun for hotter weather. This next one we have Almofolia. This one is definitely tuberose. I immediately get tuberose white floral. Also I get something a bit like ylang ylang, again very floral, feminine, with a hint of powderiness. And then lastly we have Shabby Chic. Now this one I definitely do get a rose note. Bouquet of roses, but there's a hint of an oud underneath that's adding, like creating something a little bit more deeper underneath. Quite pretty, and that classic rose oud combination. So really like classical fragrances there. I can definitely see why Bianco Latte is popular, because it's very on trend, this type of fragrance at the moment. And I think Bora Bora was my other favourite one as well, that sort of really floral tropical scent. Do let me know if you've tried any of these, which is your favorite. I'll leave the links below to where you can buy these, and if you are in the Richmond area in London, do check out Parfum de Dance Perfumery, where you can try these and my fragrances and lots of other niche perfumes. But that's it guys, so thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!